Beatrice said I could chill, see? Welcome to Wakashima, a garden which extends her heartfelt greetings. Please take it easy and relax for the time being. There is no need to think overly hardly about any of this. Quietly accept all that is about to happen. That is all that's being asked of you. Difficulty level standard. We might as well at least start by taking the easy road. Once in the hallway, we lent a hand to Kamaza, who was still trembling and leaning against the wall. We all headed back to the padre together. Then Genjin returned. Oh, Genji-san. Were you able to contact the police? As to that, I am afraid I must apologize. I don't know if it was the failure of the waiter or something else that caused it, but... So you couldn't contact the police? What? To be fair, I knew they were gonna get cooked. Like, this is Hogawashi. Nobody survives at the end of the first arc. And the phone and the radio failed? My apologies. The boat will be arriving on Monday morning, and I believe we'll be able to borrow their communications equipment. Isn't there a boat on this island? Can't we just take the little trip out to the Najima Police Department? Rogerson, that would be impossible with this weather. At the very least, we can't do anything until the typhoon passes us. Bye. Because someone's boat is being repaired, and it isn't on this island. Goodbye, we must wait for the boat coming on Monday. How could this happen? 6 people are dead. The phones and radios aren't working, and there's no boat. So until the typhoon passes and the boat comes, in other words, until tomorrow morning, we're gonna be stuck here on this island, unable to contact the police, aren't we? Which means that it's not just us, but the criminal who killed everyone is also confined to this island. That certainly follows. The Cobra who killed everyone else is still here on this island. So the bastard who killed Dad and the others is hiding somewhere, unable to escape. Damn it. I would catch that bastard and no way hand over him to the police. I would slice him to bits myself. Moya had finally realized that something odd was happening in the parlor. Rather than notice something odd, it was probably better to say she felt unhappy and neglected since everyone was getting decided by something she didn't know about. Ooh. Jessica Onichan. Did someone die? The way she spoke was completely calm. Just as though she was talking about someone who's appeared in a television drama, as if it was someone else's problem. Jessica probably didn't like that. As though trying to say, I can't tell her just by looking at me. Overwhelmed with grief, she flared up at Moya. They all died, everyone! My dad and Battler's parents, Gunnar-san, Shion, and even your mother too. Stop it, Jessica-chan. You aren't the only one who's sad. Okay, San. I know this will come as a shock, but please listen. Your mother has died. Mama died? Yeah, somebody killed you. I know it's sad, but stay strong. How many people died? 6 people. 6 people. Damn it. How could anyone do something that cool? There was a limit to how cool you can be if you're human. You know, the problem is that I think my theory about Moria being the golden witch is supported just by how much lack of emotion she shows here. We haven't seen Grandfather Kenzo. No, we have seen him. We've seen everybody else, but where was Moria? No, I think Moria was sleeping. I think there was a 19th person, actually. Lord, I don't know who it is, but the culprit isn't human. There's no way the blood is red. Ooh. The culprit isn't human? It's just the blink chosen by the blink. Huh? Hey Moria, did you say something just now? Well, I just said something. But since the words were so remotely separated from the flow and context of the conversation, I couldn't understand them for a second. When I tried to ask her to repeat it again, I was shocked by a certain sound of Aunt Nashi's loud voice coming from the entrance to the parlor. It looked as though Aunt Nashi and Aunt Ava returned from their trip to see Grandfather. You can't contact them, even with the radio? If we can't use that at a time like this, why do we even have an emergency radio? My apologies. It wasn't supposed to have a maintenance inspection every year. Wait, don't you have one of those boat signaling devices that makes a flash a light? Couldn't you use that to contact the next island? We do not have such equipment. My sincere apologies. Just then comments of a wife pushing a service cart loaded with breakfast. Since there's no way we'd be able to eat in the dining hall, I she ordered her to take it to the parlor. Why are we eating breakfast here? Now she said, I'll tell you later. More importantly, Ava, was father? Why don't you write the fact he's not with you? It seems he would not leave his room, not even for a situation like this. He wasn't there. The room was empty. What the? Where could have he gone by a time like this? Do you mean to say that Master has left his study? That is correct. I was surprised myself. I wonder if he left his room. Do any of you have an idea? Well, she looked at Gigi Kana as she said this. Maybe she was trying to ask the servants who served directly under the one-winged eagle knew of a place he might go. However, it was probably the other way around. The faces made it clear that to those who knew Kenzo at best realized that even more than the rest, how impossible it was for him to leave his room. Even we have no idea. As you all know, within the study, the Master has everything from a place to sleep to a bedroom. I couldn't imagine him leaving his room except for a significant reason. In that case, what? Isn't it natural to assume one of those significant reasons came? Well, we still cannot be certain that's the case. Anyway, he's a fickle person, so probably he went to walk by himself unaware of the current situation. If that is the case, we must act all haste to tell him what has happened and ask for instruction. That's right. Although, I don't want to think about it, but possibly something has happened to him, isn't it? I'd rather not even consider such a sinister possibility. No one has seen Kenzo since the discovery of those 6 terrible corpses. On top of that, the phones were broken, the radio wouldn't reach anyone, and there was no way to contact the police. Apparently, the typhoon would leave tomorrow, and the boat was gone. Yeah, I think Kenzo... my theory is that I think Kenzo disappeared, or Kenzo got kidnapped, or Kenzo was taken somewhere. Maybe Kenzo was also the conspirator of that murder, though, too. Until then, no one could rely on anyone else on the island, nor could they escape the island. Tragedy had hit everyone so abruptly that they lost all their composure. Everyone felt a heavy silence. Everyone was impatient. They felt the need to do something. They couldn't think of anything. So to them, held their hands in their arms, while others got irritated. Right now, no one can explain what was occurring on this island of Walker's Room. After that, we ate breakfast. Crumbs instead had made, and it felt dry and tasty. Of course, this is why I was something like that happened. No one felt particularly hungry. However, we understand that logically not eating would weaken our bodies. But it would also be rude to Cummins and say who made the breakfast. Cummins and Chad had taken some unusual lessons with vegetables. Those are German and probably ordered with ultra elaborate rules and cooked them in a Japanese style, which made them to an unpleasant color. As to that, Gunhard's son had planned to cook with these ingredients. Right then, I couldn't even imagine it. So I think about it, it remained the same. It remained the way Greenland and died, and I still taste the feel inside my mouth. You know, that title of like blankly accept everything is actually probably true, because I said a theory about Moria being the witch, but Moria was up sleeping with the guys. Kendall was also only gone right after they checked the garden. That's weird. Everyone pretended to eat for the time being, but of course no one made much progress. Then we begin piling our knowledge of the current situation. First of all, 6 people, which including Uncle Kraft, my dad, Theo Sir, Aunt Rosa, Donna Hudson, and Tion Chan, that had found the Wolfgun's storehouse brutally molded corpses. And yet we still couldn't contact the police, and both of the phones and radios were unstable. So until the typhoon passes, there's nothing we can do. Furthermore, grandfather, who might have hoped to show a little bit of leadership in this kind of situation, had disappeared some time ago. Don Hudson hadn't made that breakfast, so grandfather's stomach must have been empty. And if he had been just on some casual walk, we should have been able to hear him whining about how hungry he was by now. And despite that, he hadn't appeared. It was more than a small chance that he got caught up with this crime. According to my aunts on the way back, we think we started searching in every floor, and we weren't able to find it. Considering the timing of all this, it's only reasonable to assume that this disappearance had something to do with the crime. We figured that Dad and the rest would probably kill him at dining hall and painstakingly moved to the storehouse. Maybe grandfather had already been killed and dragged to some strange place which we hadn't yet discovered yet. Yeah, I think grandfather is probably taken to a location. I don't even think grandfather is definitely the one who conspired it. He might be a part of this murder somehow, but he's not the guy who killed them and took their bodies. Somebody else killed them and took their bodies. Grandfather summoned the witch. No one actually said that out loud, but the theory seemed extremely convincing. We'll go and check all the windows and doors are locked. We must conduct a due search for father. The children must remain in this room. Even on Hayashi said, I'm sorry, but please stay here with the children. I'd like to ask you the same thing about Najo. I understand. I'll wait here. Right now, she followed the servants and Genji's son coming in the van and Kanagil out the park. All that was left was Aunt Ava and Uncle Hayashi. Dr. Najo and the 4 of us children, and a total of 7 people. Let's all stick together and maybe watch the television while we wait. Although I doubt we find anything good in the middle of the day on a Sunday. Uncle Hayashi started acting cheerfully, trying to light up this gloomy atmosphere. Ooh. Good show, watch it. Ooh. Oh really? You wanna watch TV, Mother Chan? And come and watch it with your uncle. Molly was the only one who joined in. Even though Molly had been told by her mother that she didn't have the slightest bit of flip on her emotions. Well, yeah, it kind of made sense, honestly. if we were gonna think about it. She didn't see the horrific scene. If she saw that horrific scene, something different would have happened. Was it normal for a girl, for a 9-year-old girl like Maury to act so much like a very young child? Everyone else's mood failed to approve as they each sank absent-mindedly into the sofas. Aki, can I ask you something? What is it? She's not in the storehouse. You said something about Shion-chan at our room. Did you give that to her? Jackie didn't answer, but he hung his head and held both his eyes. Thereby there was no clue of a smile. Quit it, badly. Figure it out yourself. You're right. I should have not have asked. That's right. It was me. So last night, I proposed to her. That was when I gave her the ring. I told her that tomorrow she would put it on whatever finger she wanted as her answer. That was a pretty pretentious thing to say. And the ring had been the ring finger of Shion-chan's left hand. Well, several years Shion-chan came to me asking for advice about you, George Nissan. I wonder what she could have said. Shion was always really bad at lying. It was pretty obvious pretty quickly that you were the one Shion was talking about. She asked whether or not it'd be okay if her to get close to someone even though she was only a servant. She asked about what kinds of things boys like and what kind of clothes she should wear to make them happy. Lots of stuff like that. I guess you could say I felt envious hearing her say that. So then she was given an engagement ring and it all ended there. Different people value different things differently, but being proposed to by a man, well, it could be a high point in your life. So I'm sure, last night, I'm sure Shion was happy for the thought of her happier than he's ever been since the day of her birth. Lord Aki sighed deeply without raising his head. I'm still hearing the comment. Don't try to overthink things clearly. I'm like, bro, they're talking to me, the person playing this game. Or maybe the tears had risen from his eyes, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Don't take things seriously. See, she was on duty in the guest house last night. Because she was too embarrassed to go back to the guest house with me, she went over to the mansion. Think about how Shion must have felt when you received an engagement ring. No matter how much warning you have given beforehand, it's pretty normal to get so excited and your mind goes blank. You must have been incredibly embarrassed. Whoa! She died because she went to the mansion at the wrong time, at the wrong evening. Heard some footsteps and never heard from her since. And then she went to the mansion, even though she had not been signed. Gunnar said with his walking got cut up in this climb. If I hadn't given her that ring on that day, in that place, she would have had no sound, wouldn't have been caught up with that climb. Aki, that's the only place where you're wrong. It's definitely wrong. Just don't cry anymore. Malibu, let's leave him be. After all, Ava said that I stopped talking to him. That place was a comfort might actually be more harm than good. Jessica sat down next to Aki and put her arm around him. Never only Jessica, who had known about Aki and Shion's love since the beginning. Whatever discussed the relation with Shion could comfort Aki now. I went over to Ava, sat down on the opposite sofa. Malibu, you really are strong. It looks like you kept a good hold on yourself. Well, you know, the depth of love becomes the depth of a wound, right? After all, it's not like the old bastard guy had anything to do with me. I just feel bad that Kiwi-san, she wasn't my actual parent. My wife. So, my mother got so used to crying a lot back then. Well, I did at least do that much crying due to the gratitude of the parents who raised me. The speed of that changeover and the dry tone must have come from Rudolph. That kid was always violently happy, sad, and angry, but he always regained his cool immediately afterwards. It's nothing like that, and I haven't really been able to get over the shock yet. To think the only difference between me and everyone else was the kind of emotions it stirred in me. What do you mean? I've been acting much calmer than George, Aki, and Jessica. That isn't because my sadness wasn't less intense, or because I always recovered. My sadness was simply getting replaced by a different emotion. Rather than sad, I say I'm more pissed off. What bastard did this, and where? It's kind of been eating at me. I didn't get a chance to smack him upside the face. But that's what I really wanted to do. I couldn't forgive myself if I stood down there with overwhelming sadness and hugging my knees. Since that time, Dad and the others who were killed on this island have been covered up by the Typhon, which means the bastard responsible for all this is still somewhere on this island. Yes, that would seem to be the case. I wonder if they're hiding from me in that dark forest even. I felt as though I had a very similar conversation with Kiwi-san the night before. That's right. After the letter that the person claiming to be Beatrice appeared on the dining table last night, we talked about whether or not there's a 19th person actually exists. Aunt Ava, do you think this murder has anything to do with the letter from Beatrice last night? That one? Well, I wonder. All the siblings had agreed on the mysterious letter to further complicate the problem of brothers and inheritance. As to do whether the case of the morning is related is impossible to tell at this stage. Was that whether really given to Moria by some witch called Beatrice? How could it be? All of this false and devised by father, wasn't it? You mean she was trying to someone wear that dress in the portrait to trick me on shit, right? Isn't that kind of overly intricate prank that father would pull? Last night I talked with Kiwi-san about whether or not Beatrice actually exists, and Kiwi-san said that Beatrice is probably one of the 18 of us. Isn't that obvious? There's no one else who could be on this island besides us, right? Then it must be someone amongst us who's pretending to be Beatrice. There's no one else but us on this island, you think? Obviously, right? Are you saying that there could be someone else here other than us? I mean, no one has been on the island except us. There's only 18 people. So the one who is pretending to be Beatrice has to be one of those 18. Kiwi-san denied the existence of a 19th person by spinning the chessboard around. And even though Aunt Ava hadn't constructed an argument that complicated, her opinion was at least the same. Except, if that's the case, our situation is starting to look very ugly. At the time of Beatrice's letter, the whole thing was passed up as a prank set up by someone or another. However, if we were assuming that there was no 19th person, we can't ignore this anymore. In other words, if there's no 19th person, then the culprit who killed Daddy and the others is one of the 18, right? So in other words, the person who killed them is one of the people buried inside this mansion right now. Aunt Ava smiled meaningfully. It looks as though she thought this conclusion should have been obvious in the beginning. The culprit carried the bodies of those 6 to the storehouse, but even then, that wasn't an impressive feat, don't you think? That shutter is always closed and locked, right? In other words, in order to carry them in the storehouse, the culprit needed to unlock the shutter. Understood? Is it possible the shutter was left open by mistake that day? The servant said it was always kept locked. In other words, the culprit took the keys from the servant room. There was no way they could open the storehouse. I wonder if the key to the servant room was with Yuji-san said that was the case, which means the culprit knew where the single key was kept and took it. Just now I've been watching Chronicles and turns to the keys to the servant room. The wall was packed with keys, and I don't think a novice would have knew where or what those keys went to. The culprit was meticulously able to find the storehouse key among all of those. Furthermore, even the key didn't have a tag or anything sticking out. They knew the key to the storehouse was behind the rose garden. And that means they also knew where the storehouse was. I would say it even clearer. The culprit knew the inside of the servant room as well. The argument is extremely plain here. If the bodies had been found somewhere in the bushes of the rose garden, there wouldn't be much to go on. However, if there's one key to the storehouse in the servant room, and it was stored in such a large group of keys, then obviously would not be able to tell them apart. This means the culprit was someone who went into the servant room years a lot, and was familiar with the location of the keys. Family members did not even go into the servant room, which means one of the servants is the culprit. I'm sorry, but I can't even tell you any more than that. I'll tell you one thing. What is that? It's reasonable to think the culprits are multiple and very well armed. They would have to be alone. They have to assault the four in the diner, kill them, and drag their sick bodies probably beyond the rose garden and arrange that disgusting makeup and the graffiti on the shutter. There was no way that a single culprit could carry all that out on their own right. Makes sense. It was probably would have been possible for a single person with enough time, but they were too so incredibly wrong. It was probably safe to assume that a significant number of people were involved. So what are you saying? That maybe all the servants were in the hoops. Please keep it quiet, okay? There will be to voice any suspicion like that. If it really was true, what would you do next? You might not let us leave you alive. This is a person who has no trouble killing Nissan and the three others. Right now, the only ones I can count on my fingers who fight me are the three in my family and maybe you when it comes to a total of 4 people, right? You're no better off than were last night. In short, it might be easy for the culprit to mask the rest of us. I've been playing detective with my Ava trying to expose this because we were killed dead unless before the police did. Only if I can clearly perpetuate the culprit's identity and stick the proof in her face. I would make sure, just like the ones in the detective movies, the culprit would give up and surrender. However, this culprit would not only surrender, but there's no way for him to fight back. The culprits behind the parties on this island will fall from topics. You might have been able to master all the many people here. And on top of that, this island is a giant palace room cut out from the outside wood that protects it all. So on a full day until tomorrow to kill the scheme and the camp. I know who it is. I know who it is. No, I know who it is. I know who it is. I know who it is. This guy. It's this guy. It's him. It's him, isn't it? It's Genji. Isn't it? Isn't it Genji? It's him. Ooh, that is some twist villain ass shit. In short, it wasn't a safe atmosphere for more reason to get very far from playing the test. Genji or the older woman? It's what the old guys. To the contrary, they're playing at this stage which we have been scared stiff. Since playing detective, we might displease the culprit. I'll probably have my buffets be the older lady because we hadn't seen her afterward. I suspect Genji, but now it's the old lady, Russie, that caused him to commit another mass murder. Well then, it's just a possibility, right? But I can't blame myself to trust the servants yet. And it doesn't mean I only respect them. Don't you think they're There's some mastermind behind all this. Mastermind? How do you say that? It's just a feeling. I'm thinking about the world the servant means. Yeah, I already, like, Uncle Kanzo? Damn, this is really drawing my mind. This guy is the mastermind. He just built from the study unnoticed. Kanzo studies everything from the bed to the toilet to the bathroom, so it's extremely rare for him to go outside. However, he does occasionally go a walk on a run without telling anyone. This is disappearing into a huge upward through the house. He usually comes back as soon as he gets hungry, usually. This guy's the mastermind. This old lady because of the stare. And this guy because he's the right hand man of this guy. And we already know that this guy is the mastermind. You mean someone who serves as someone else's arms and legs, right? There would be a bunch of other Shime family members who got killed. Who naturally was someone who's involved, who stands to gain from that occurrence. This is also plain and clear. The Otoshime family has been running a discussion on how to distribute the inheritance when grandfather died. If that was the case, following the standard from any class in the mysterious novel, the crime was definitely caused by someone who has ties to the Shime family and who was involved with the inheritance squabble. Aunt Ava has probably been reading books about the genre herself. Her argument has a few blind assumptions in it, but of the standard conclusion than anyone might have read. Well, we know a little bit more. Like how Kenzo was sacrificing a bunch of people. So we know Kenzo's the mastermind, which means that the servants are definitely the enemies. Though there's also some invisible part that isn't seen yet. Maybe Moria has something to play in this as a messenger. That was one of these areas. I think most people would end up suspecting the server, even if they use different reasons to get there. Especially the story about the key in the shop. That made it very easy to suspect one of the servers is involved. And that's why I don't like it. What do you mean by you don't like it? No, I'm just talking to myself. I thought I was also worried my joke about couldn't unease welling up within me. After all, her conclusion was such an easy one to reach. A conclusion that anyone could reach. That's true. Because yeah, you could be like, Kenzo's the mastermind and Kenzo ordered the guy to kill him. Oh. And I just couldn't be satisfied with that. I tried spinning the chessboard along like I've learned from Kiyoshi. This is exactly why a servant couldn't be possibly be the culprit. If the servants were really the culprit, they wouldn't hide their bodies in such a place that would connect them to themselves. W! Why on the earth would they use the Wolves Garden shed? If they're the ones in charge of the key that could lock it. The police probably immediately would pursue whoever had been in control of the key. And it'd be possible that some other facts would have come to light as a result. The more we think about the servants as culprits, the less they had any reason to carry the bodies around in the storehouse. But what if they knew we'd think about that? The corpses in the storehouse for that very reason. Okay, that's actually W. That's W intelligence. I was placing the blame on this guy way too early. Kenzo's the mastermind. He just is. But this guy, Kenzo disappeared after the case. He, this girl, and he could not be involved in any way. So our possible suspects is this maybe the doctor. And for a wild card guess, let's just say Ava. Due to the fact that we was talking about inheritance. And all of these guys are dead, but you're still alive. Also, you're strong. I'm not sure if you're strong enough to, like, take on a whole force, which is the reason why you needed some help. No, that's completely impossible. When the police came to suspect the scene of the crime, they probably would uncover many things. No matter how carefully the culprits carried out the murder, some traces would definitely be found. In other words, they had everything to lose and nothing to gain. If you think about it this way, and look at the murder as a game from the culprit side, it's hard to imagine why they would call attention to the corpses. Once the corpses were found, it could be a result of someone sending a report to the police, or it might be to make the remaining people more cautious, or maybe the survivors start searching for the culprit. None of these things would make their life any easier for the culprit. It's just like the words of one of the main characters' mother in a novel I read. Hogawashi no Nako ko ni. Every story needs to have a beginning, middle, and an end. Eliminating the beginning is essential for the perfect crime. Right now, we don't know what grandfather is. We don't know if he's already become a victim or is one of the culprits. But in this state of confusion, it must be beneficial for the killer. The culprit absolutely has nothing to gain to show us in the bodies in such an obvious way, and making us realize there has been a murder. In fact, this is the perfect place to spend the chessboard around. In other words, showing us those corpses in such a flashy way has been the culprit's goal in itself. Ooh! So at the very least, the culprit had the appearance of one of the 6 corpses. They're meant to be more deaths than themselves. To the culprit, the appearance of the 6 corpses meant more than the deaths themselves. In other words, the culprit wanted to make this murder on display. To whom? To us. This is a message. The culprit is trying to shove something into our faces. I don't know what it is, but at this point in time, this vulgar mass murder isn't making me feel anything except malice directed at all of us. Malice towards all of us, isn't it? Each one of the survivors has some kind of connection to one of the 6 victims. Uncle Quas's death brought Jessica grief of losing a family member. The deaths of Dad and Kiwesa brought me sorrow, while Aunt Rose's death brought Mario sorrow. Grandhouse's death shocked his fellow servants, and Shionjan's death brought grief to both George Aki, who had proposed to her, and Kanaku, who had loved her like an older sister. Everyone now on his island has received an equal amount of sadness. Unable to show the servants were in cahoots. But then, how could you explain the deaths of Ganahasa and Shionchan? And anyway, by this argument, the grief caused by the 6 deaths hit everyone other than Aunt Ava and Uncle Hayashi. Oh my god! Even Aunt Ava, who had been directed suspicion at the servants and acted as if she was beyond suspicion, how clever, could not be ruled out as a suspect. In the first place, she was been able to argue that the servants' suspicions by focusing on the shutter key. But if you look at it from the perspective of the motive and who would the game, they were focusing the pain on all the other parties, but Ava wasn't affected. That was not the draw of the true Aunt Ava wasn't affected. Had a whole conflict with the inheritors. We know more than even Battler. Aunt Ava had this whole conflict with the inheritors. Quas and the others were trying to get the money. Aunt Ava is a little bit more suspicious. A little bit more. This guy is definitely the guy. This person is suspicious. Grief. 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 No grief. Ava's name rises at the top of the list. I know what you're thinking about, Raccoon. Yo! Whoa! God, no, please don't tell anybody, but my head is so full of obscene stuff. I'm the one who's getting the blame for most of these murders. Since I'm the one who's gonna be suspected anyway, I might as well get out in the open. I tried to dodge the ocean by joking around, but apparently it didn't work. The inheritance would be divided as many parts as there are siblings. But right now I'm the only one of the 4 left. All of the assets to the Oshima family will become mine. Oh! If Uncle Hayashi heard you say, could you give it a rest? It's not funny. I'm sorry. I was just fooling around since I was going to be suspected anyway, no matter how much I tried to smooth it over. And that's why from my point of view, this murder mother and this guy has a cast suspicion on me. Damn. The primary suspects. This guy is just a suspect already. Not this guy. The doctor could be suspicious, but we don't know enough about him. Which is why we should suspect him in theory, but we don't know enough about him. Unfortunately, my able for the last night was weak. Could you tell me a bit more about last night? As you know, the discussion between the siblings and how to slice up and eat the inheritance continued until late in the night. But I did not know how late it lasted. My husband and I had woken up early that morning. We were so sleepy and little past the midnight they let us go. And when we returned to the guest house in yesterday. And anyone other than Uncle Hayashi proved that? Oh wait, it's not like I suspect you in anything. Hehehe. Are you sure about that? Ego. I don't know if it counts as proof, but when we returned to the guest house, we were greeted by Genji-san, who asked if we needed a towel. I think that should be enough proof that we returned to the guest house a little after midnight. Although if my theory was correct and the servants were all in cahoots, that wouldn't actually make much of an alibi. Hey, you've got a point there. Guess that means I was playing detective with the real culprit right now, huh? Well, let me say my honest sake, if I was after the inheritance, I would not commit such a bizarre set of murders. That is pretty plausible. I might have been correct on the Genji assumption. I might have been actually on some shit with the Genji assumption. And after all, I just wanted to make them forfeit the rights to the inheritance. Wouldn't matter how they died. It would be smart of me to try to make their deaths look like accidents. Especially if we soon laid out some careful plans that involved even the servants. I got a point there. If you were killing someone for personal gain, you definitely make it not look like a murder. Exactly. That's why I'm in such a blue mood. The police would probably treat me like a mastermind and investigate all kinds of things. Not fun at all. Aunt Ava struggled with a bit of smiling. It was easy to suspect Aunt Ava as it was to suspect the servants. So we spent the chessboard. Does that make it impossible for the culprit to be her? Suspicious as it sounds. However, that sort of argument works, and the motive can never help us in any way. No, that can't be right. Knowing that the motive must give us a helpful clues to know the culprit. Outside the motive's small time periods disguise the crimes in complicated ways, nothing preventing the motives from being discovered. Don't get it. I just don't get it. Every time I spin the chessboard around, it keeps slipping back, front to back, back to front. My thoughts bring me close to the truth, or are they? Aunt Ava didn't want to talk any more than that, so I folded my arms and headed to the window to cool my head a little. As I looked over the parlor, I saw Georgiaki and the others gathering talking. It looked like they was talking about the magic circle that had been pasted onto the shutter. As Uncle Hayashi thought in the back of the time, he started drawing a shape in margins of Maria's notebook. I see Maria was second only to grandfather in the knowledge of code. She might understand what it meant. Do you think it's probably something like that? There's a mark that looks like a variation of the cross. The problem is that Moria might be the most suspicious one. Moria and Genji might be the most suspicious ones, due to their close ties. And the old lady, because again, in this situation, we don't know enough about her. Dr. Nigel probably isn't the murderer. It just wouldn't make sense. But Moria and the old lady, it wouldn't make sense because she liked Shion-chan. Well, maybe she's a twist villain, but still, Genji makes a little bit more sense, especially if Kaze is said as sacrifices, but was also weirded out by the blood marking. And then surrounded a circle all around the pyramid were closely packed in strange letters on all four sides of the cross. The four corners, there was some written. I didn't look back at the alphabet or something like that. Those are what they call ancient characters. And on the top of the circumference is a small mark. 5 small circles of which and a plus sign and straight lines. Oh yeah, there was definitely something like that drawn there. Except there's no mistaking the shape. I don't understand the thing characters. The witchbird is nearly the same. Everyone was staring down on the shape and I stared down at it too. From what I heard, there's been painting in the shutter storehouse with some material that looks like blood. I see, this is sure unsettling. Grandfather was probably the only one who would want to draw something that weird. Seriously, where did he go? We already know that grandfather has something to do with the murders, though. I'm glad I'm gonna ask them what the hell is this supposed to mean. Just those words contain impotence and anger. Yeah, the girl as far as said grandfather was the culprit, but she seemed sure that grandfather knew something about the culprit's background. Of course, if you're searching for a link between the connection of the Oshimu family and the cult, 10 out of 10 people would think of grandfather. Of the person who knew nothing about the quote, this strange marking would have no meaning, which meant that this might have been something addressed to grandfather. That's why the reason the coin was shown to the survivors was so they would find this. In that case, we had grandfather essentially reciprocated this message disappeared off to. As the shape of the wing-wearing bills grew, Molly looked at the shape of a serious face. Maybe she's enthusiastic because of her area of expertise. However, her appearance was that of someone separated from the events at hand. Though I don't think we want to go as far as to accuse Moria right now. We don't know enough about this current situation. Plus, I don't think she would murder her parents. Also, it wasn't like she liked Aunt Ava or Uncle Hayashi. She just had the least contact with them people. If we're gonna go by the theory that Moria was the murderer, every people has been connected to in some way. This guy, this guy. Moria has met Shion, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. This is her own mother, so of course she has met her. She's met these two, and him. She's met this guy. She's met these people. Quaz insulted her. I don't know what these two had to do anything with. She slapped her. Servant Shion might have been nice or something. Not how it was hard on the people. As though it hadn't been drawn on the shirt close to one of her mother's corpse. I was looking pleasure the design would resemble the German clocks. Ah, it certainly does have that kind of design. Does it being have something to do with Germany? The German cross was originally a quest from the religious order of knights that was supposed to protect the pilgrims traveling the sacred places. So in other words, the massive circle might have some religious meaning. This started to sound like gibberish. When I look all over them, they prepare to jump into the discussion. Something shocked me. Moria was smiling with an eerie and incomprehensible expression on her face. W suspect. W suspect. I'm basically trying to verify proof of Moria's the murder by saying Quaz was insulting. This girl slapped her. I'm not sure what these two did. I think they asked her way too many questions or something. This girl? It was probably by proxy. Because this was also by proxy. Also, she just technically bring pain to all of these people. Was not really amused or affected. Like, even this lady had much more of a shock when hearing about the blood on the chest than this girl. And even as cool as it say, there was a little bit more of a reason for her to actually take out this guy, and even these people. These two were probably by proxy though, which is the saddest part. There was a reason to take out all of these people. Reason 1 why you take out class, insult. Reason 2 why you take out this girl. She didn't believe her, slapped her all over the place. Reason why you take out his parents, to make this guy believe. Why would you kill Shion? Wrong place at the wrong time. But also to probably make him sad. For something he might have done. Why Glunda? Maybe the insult to Shion? Because she also kept half her face and half of Class's face. It was almost as if she was making fun of everyone's ignorance. That's the expression that I would have not dreamed to find on Mario's face, and she laughed. That eerie drawing laugh was something I didn't want to believe was possible, even though I was looking at it right in front of my eyes. You people aren't even close. Did you just tell by looking? While everyone was busy scared of them, Moira was tracking happily to herself. After a while, the laugh suddenly uplifted and cut off, but her expression still looked like it belonged to someone completely different from Moira. This is the seventh magic circle of this sun. The field is inhibited. Give it here. Sure. Moira stole the whiting materials from the stunned Hayashi's hand, and then started drawing another magic circle with the whistle, right next to the one Hayashi had drawn. See? It looks so like this, right? Yes. Whoa! Mario, incredible. You really do know a lot. I'm not gonna try to smooth things over by praising Mario. I know she wanted to defend this, but still the Mario new and so far. Mario didn't answer in any way particular. Mario began quickly writing unfamiliar characters on the corner of her shirt. You know how Hayashi and Nugget know their father? Her eyes immediately began to open wide. And dropped out of my mouth like, oh, my names were angels who preside over wind, fire, earth, and water. Chisholm. Hello. I know what I'm talking about. Also, some of the names before they change. Hello. Sailor, Gashos, and Chihuahua. Is that what you saw? No, they haven't been able to quite explain what they have seen. Just not the girl was going to put both of them to whoever they're seeing. You know what? I was going to write on that. Hydration and other ones and not a whole lot. Blue stinging. I'm sure the characters that look like that. I don't really think this is why it's something like that. Some characters doing over the second one. I know. It's this way. This is pleasures of the Old Testament, the 16 to 17 verses of this 116th plasma. You must have at least read the Bible, right? God. Unlike this will only come since Moya laughed. While everyone, including me, was at a loss for words. A little low, George actually returned to his senses and slowly managed to speak. That's incredible. I'm surprised. So what meaning does this magic circle have? This magic circle is a ball of power from the sun. He who wears it as a talisman, drowned in gold shell, and is able to break free from bonds of any prison and receive power to gain freedom. To break free from bonds and gain freedom sounds deep. The bonds are not limited to interpretation, to some kind of physical object. Therefore, it does not hold any meaning for people who actually lock them in an actual jail. It can also be referred to release some mental bonds, such as ties of obligation and inescapable fate. Ties to obligation and inescapable fate, you say? That's pretty deep. But I really don't understand. What does this have to do with those 6 bodies? Far from being released, they were killed and stuffed in the storehouse, like. It's not like the magic circle was drawn for their sakes. The 6 of them were there for the sake of the magic circle. It was truly pitiful. What do you mean? What in the world do you mean when you say the 6 of them were for the sake of the magic circle? Mona lifted up her finger and pointed and wagged it as if she was making fun of us. That written around the circumference. Can't you read it? From chapter 166, verse 16 and 17. I will read it for you. The Lord has freed me from my chains. I will offer you sacrifices of thanksgiving and we will call me the name of the Lord. See, you say? Got no idea what you're talking about. You're saying they're human sacrifices. What if Moya had just beaten along the vital part of the magic circle? And then they're saying the sacrifices had to be offered by the magic circle in order to be efficient. So the human sacrifices have been offered inside the storehouse, where the magic circle has been drawn. I'll have B later everybody seems to reach the same conclusion. Some people were shocked and others were spat out. Now that's insane. But this was insane that they punched their knees. This was starting to get incredibly disturbing. And we couldn't accept it or understand it. I don't care what kind of magic circles or curses the other people believe in. I won't pick a fight with them. But they did really kill my dad and the West that sacrificed for crap like that. I just couldn't stand the feeling. Compared to this, I would prefer it when we were still disgusted by the theory about them fighting over the inheritance. I started to get pissed off with that feeling between anger and sadness. I broke the circles in everyone in the room and went turned once again to the window. Something has gone insane, yes. Something has gone insane since yesterday. There was a letter from the Butch Beatrice, and Maria read it aloud on last night's dinner. Ever since that point, it feels like it feels like this whole mansion, this whole island is getting more and more fully lost in some bizarre world. That's right. When we think back to it, the letter was an invitation from the witch. The will of the nighttime island and inviters of the inhabitants of another world. The phone and the radio have been interrupted. The island was shut off by the typhoon, so you could really call this place another world cut off from the real one by now. Invitation. which then there's letters written for human sacrifice and offered for the sake of magic service. So what would happen next? Would some weird people wearing gold masks start doing the Bond Festival things or something? Oh, it's hopeless. It's hopeless. I don't get it. Inside my head is all screwed up. I don't even know what to think. Anger or sadness. The opposite emotions welled up together and they started to suck me in. I realized I could do nothing but cover my eyes and my hands, trust my mind and body as it started to get sucked in. As I started losing heart, I began to recall memory from when I was small. It was from when I was very young. I had unfortunately seen a scary occult movie on television for a while. Okay. That was Battler gave an exaggerated laugh and said this. Hey Battler, why don't you think that they would go all the trouble to make movies about demons and the occult and such? It's because they don't exist. Something like that ridiculous cannot be found anywhere on this planet. Because they don't exist, people wanted to see them and go a lot of effort into making them. That's why those occult movies just make me laugh. If I were focused to choose, I would say, rather than demons and monsters, this year's earnings call Angry Lives. This year's earnings call and Angry Lives are 1,100 times scarier. I'll go further, okay? From my point of view, getting scared by is a recreational emotion, something for the people who got room to relax in both of their hearts and lifestyles. They got so much free time that they don't know what to do with it in order to entertain their mind with unusual emotions. People started creating culture with demons and occult and stuff. Seriously, why have I been acting so damn dickheaded? I was totally taken in. Don't try to mess with me. This is the human world. I don't give a damn about witches, demons, magic, human circles, and human sacrifices. The human who killed my dad and everyone else is still on this island. And that's all there, isn't it, right? The next person who started to speak to my heart was Kiyoe-san. You see, in both chess and shogi, when you reach the very last stage of the game and get closer and closer to currently reported, the number of optimal moves you can make gets smaller and smaller. Thereby, if you back someone against the wall, or if you're doing, or someone's doing the same to you, both players' moves become infinitely easier to lead. In other words, you're completely cornered, you think you have no room left at the moment, it's the easiest to lead your opponent. However, when the person is forced into a defensive position, you can't help but lose the ability to think clearly, so they are unable to get the mind behind the opponent's moves. That's when you spin the chessboard around. With all the strength, I slapped my face with both hands. Now that my eyes were truly open. When you don't understand anything and you're completely cornered just like what I am now, isn't it the perfect time to spin the chessboard around? While on the defensive, I can't even guess the culprit scheme. If we spin it around and look at it that way, it's just what we might see. First of all, at the time the culprit committed the murders, they knew the island was going to be cut off by the typhoon. Thereby, they should understand that even though they have carried out the murders, they wouldn't be able to get away early in the morning. In short, the culprit had begun without securing a way to escape. Furthermore, that bastard tossed the corpses in the storehouse and then was even kind enough to see here they are with a weird bit of graffiti. In other words, since we probably find the corpses sooner than later, they wanted to show them to us. If we all had been dim, and we all haven't noticed the storage set and the culprit's goal would have been achieved, right? If you think about it this way, that bastard of a culprit, since this morning they must have been watching out every move with bated breath. After all, if we wouldn't have been some kind as to discover what was in the storehouse, all that hard work and preparation we did last night would have gone to proof. The culprit wanted to make us fall by showing us the corpse in the storehouse. Queen! Ooh, WIQ battle. Incredible shit. That is actually incredible. He got cornered, spin the chessboard around, and is now able to gain an understand. That makes sense, because now I'm like, yeah, those are enough. All 6 of the bodies had their faces notably destroyed. Was it a grudge? Was it a warning? The defect made of the bodies had occurred after death, so it hadn't been an easy which the culprit had killed. It didn't mean anything to do with being killed. It did have a meaning to those who had found the bodies. The culprit wanted them to make it appear as though they had been killed so brutally. Huh. After thinking this way, I wouldn't want to tell that bastard to stop talking to me so lightly. He would dance to that tune. And I was so told, please be scared, and that you can't really sure thing. When someone tells of the great Urashimi battles, the interest would start here. I'm the kind of guy who was wanting to sneak in through the window. The next thing that had me really concerned was the so-called magic circle on the shoulder. As Mario, who had shown her knowledge about the whole rival grandfather, had recognized the magic circle was genuine. That is all. They must have been drawn to that pitch black darkness taking on a lot of time holding an umbrella in one hand. Isn't that amount of hard work and perfectionism impressive? What purpose would have been worthwhile? If we was looking for a fan of the occult in the mansion, most likely all of us would naturally suspect the grandfather. They want us to make us think grandfather was involved. But if that's all they wanted, they could have drawn some old scribble like a magic circle. It wasn't like any of us amateurs would be able to tell the difference between a genuine and a fake. However, this magic circle was genuine and clearly had been written in homebrew. So that means the magic circle had a message that can only be understood with someone who with the knowledge of the occult. A message is a form of communication. By sending it, they were hoping for a reaction. For some reason, we cannot find grandfather anymore. I don't know how grandfather might have spied in the jokes on the show, but he definitely chooses to hide himself in reaction to that. To try to make us suspect that grandfather has participated. You could read it either way, but it's so damn dumb. What kind of reaction the Poker was hoping to get out of us by putting this culture? I feel like the Poker there's a little confusion that Moria let us read all out loud during the last night's dinner, springing him back into my mind. It was this fleet who asked us to enjoy the Battle of Wits. Isn't that interesting? It's a battle of wits between us and the witch. Will we be sucked up by a cult game first, or will we be put off those skin first? There's a whole day until the typhoon passes. Why don't we enjoy ourselves? Ooh. Yep. Finally noticed that the inside of Hollow had gone quiet again. Honestly, due to the fact that all the people seem innocent and freaked out of their own way, this is my conclusion. There is a 19th person on the island. Everyone had sunk into their favorite sofas in some deep dark. Some irritated, some acting depressed. Moya was once again enjoying the television as if she never left it. It looked like she found some commercials more fun than the boring program and happily well oohed and giggled. I started to stare each person in appearance in turn. As if there isn't a 19th person, the culprit must be in this room. Ooh. Why not Aunt now she is searching the mansion with the servant's light? Then we shouldn't say in this room, in this mansion where the culprit has to be. If at all possible, Aunt Nashi was behind this, and we can't deny that one of the servants might be the killer. Anyone could be guilty. Still, Aunt Nashi and the rest will certainly be taking their time. Of course, this is not a small mansion, but taking a little too long to walk around and checking the windows and doors. I was thinking, look, this Aunt watching the rest of the time. None of them went missing. But the leave was short-lived. Everyone looked at Aunt Nashi in shock. The talk we had when uneven started to creep back into my mind. The possibility that the culprits had enough numbers and weapons to kill all 6 of us at once. Forgive me if I startled you. Brought this to prepare for the worst. After the thing the Aunt Elashi's hand was a rifle. At a glance at its silhouette, it looked like a hunting gun. It was unusually short, kind of like a kid-sized weapon. However, it had weightness. It made it clear this was no kid's story. That gun is kin to Sam, isn't it? Did you know about it? The slide. How I remember it was father's old collection. Managed to find it. Whoa, awesome. How's she signed? Is that thing the wheel? Yes, it's ready. I can follow a knife animation. One of the old father uses the scale off for it. Oh, that takes me back. Where do you find it? No matter how much I ask you to let me touch it, you never let me really even think about it. Oh. My father had one of these. I know that. One time my father was really addicted to cowboy films. That generation really liked this kind of rifle. Oh, is that Winchester? Well, I've never seen one of those in so show before. I remember. That's a gun. It really takes me back. That's one of the scenes McQueen fired off in Wanted, Alive, and Dead. Oh, the show has good taste. It's not of the master orders specifically from America a long time ago. As you can see, it's working in so please don't tell me anything about this. It was quite fun with the lightning after you managed to fire. You're a suspect. We're playing some big IQ games right here. So our new suspect is. This person. This guy already confirmed. Okay, cross out this guy, this girl, this guy, this guy, this girl, this guy, this girl, this guy. Circle this guy, this guy, this girl. Seems like the workings of the ejected cartridges were much more interested to him than shooting it, and he played along when I can force that all the time. Still, it's not disturbing. Are you sure you should be dragging this out? Time to prepare for the worst. There's probably more than one invader involved. Furthermore, these horrible people killed 6 of us, including my husband. I have a responsibility to protect everyone until tomorrow my cousin's place. That's not she said to say. This is went down one of the sofas and took a deep breath. They've been trying to find grandfather as well as check the doors and windows. The grandfather wasn't with her. You probably don't know where he was. But confirm, check all the doors and windows through the mansion. However, we must be prepared for anything. Everyone, I think it would be best if we all remained here. Oh, good point. Everyone's gathered here, and we can all feel more secure by keeping an eye check. What do you mean by that? Now, let's see. No, really. I was just agreeing with your opinion, aren't I? There was a story analyst on the team as well. If we think about who was the most suspicious in the hearing spot, Aunt Ava is the others answers, but there's no point that Aunt Aisha is in the room. No, if you these questions line up well with Grandpa's complicated place, I think this crime is just an extension of that. There's more enough reason to suspect even Grandfather. Also, Aunt Nashi thought was the criminal outside. Okay, first of all, we already know that Grandfather is tied to this murder in a way. He casted for the sacrifices to happen. Though it's not complete. Because I think, didn't he say something about sacrificing more people? Also, what about that Twilight game? Were the Twilight days? Or actual Twilights? If there were actual Twilights, then this is only the third Twilight. But Aunt Ava, though a criminal, was on the inside. In short, there's a question on whether or not the 19th person exists. That same question that has been repeated endlessly since last night's dinner with the letter from the witch herself called Beatrice. So is the combo among us or not? And if Beatrice, and did the witch Beatrice exist or not? If you assume that something as stupid as a witch can't exist, you're basically saying that one of his relatives who share a common bloodline, is the culprit. If that's too unpleasant, it is much more. If that was too unpleasant, it's much more comfortable to accept that they're like killed or like a witch. There are possible suspects for like the person that the 18th person is one of these people. Grandfather's involved, but that's it. The other people, we haven't really heard from them that much. Also, Genji saying he knew was kind of weird. In which drawing up his automatic circle. Though it's also more human, though. Did you and the old lady are both pretty good suspects on the servant list, but on the actual normal list, there was only Grandfather. If I could accept that well-wish, I'd be able to trust all the people in the room. However, that damn common sense got in the way. I kept repeating that witches don't exist. In that case, the culprit must be among us. In the middle of seeming like an endless lane, none of us can break the silence. I'm sorry, but I actually don't think the culprit is any of them. I actually don't think the culprit is any of them. Well, because this is my mental question. Everybody freaked out when they all saw that they would die. The suspicious guys are still not very clear evidence. Like Genshin being suspicious due to being close to Grandfather wouldn't make sense. The problem is Genji isn't even allowed in some areas. For me, I actually believe that a 19th person exists on this case. Everybody is actually innocent here. Ooh, but what is it gonna be? Am I gonna be wrong? Or right? This is the scary part, okay? I said that there was a 19th person. The question is whether or not... The question for this arc is whether or not a 19th person exists. I think a 19th person does exist due to all the evidence. We don't have enough evidence on what character could have conspired. To do this, other than the aunt might be, maybe the aunt was foreshadowing he'll buy on this girl. Maybe it couldn't be this girl, because if this girl actually tried to kill the people, it would not be as brutally as smashing their faces in. Also, it cannot be this guy, he's the main character, but also it's brutal. This guy is the sister of her, there would be no reason to kill her. But the other guy, he's also shown to have emotion. This guy doesn't actually have a reason to kill these people. Even if Kinzo ordered them into. Even if Kinzo ordered him to kill these people, I don't think he has enough reason. Also, the doctor is not really going to be involved at all. This girl was asleep when it happened. This girl was asleep when it happened. This guy was asleep when it happened. These two people were asleep when it happened. This girl was asleep when it happened. The only two guys. And like, Genji isn't even that suspicious because they met him. Or I guess, no, they met this guy before they died. But also Genji was also there too. Or serving at another mansion. The suspicious one would probably be the old lady. But it's the witch's avatar. None of these people actually would make sense as an avatar. Genji would not make sense as an avatar because he serves directly under Kinzo. And I don't think the witch would want to do that. I also don't think the witch would want to be a servant in the first place. If we would suspect that, then Urashimi Mora might be the biggest suspect due to the fact that she already has a magic of a cult and stuff. But the murders are so gruesome that it doesn't really go along with that purity image. Behold, under the sweet fish river running along my beloved hometown, you will seek the golden land and follow the path downstream in search of the key. As you travel down it, you will see a village. In that village, you will look for the shore of the two that will tell of there sleeps a key to the golden land. The one who obtains the key must travel the golden land in accordance with these rules. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen ones that sat. Oh, we're only on the first twilight. On the second twilight, you shall tell apart the 2 who are quarrels. On the third twilight, you should apply my noble name. Okay, who are the closest characters? These two might be the closest. No, but these are even closer, and Shiom's dead. There's nobody else who's closer than these two people. So the first Twilight and the second Twilight happened again. Third Twilight, I don't know if they close to no one name. So on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th Twilight have yet to happen. Third Twilight is unknown when it happened, but these two Twilights, I think I can confirm it happened. The witch shall revive and none shall be alive. When the journey is then, you should obtain the power of the Golden Land treasures for one last time. The witch will bestow the wise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall be of all the gold from the Golden Land. One shall be the resurrection of the dead, all the dead souls. One shall be the resurrection of the love that is lost. And one shall be to put the witch of all sleep for all eternity. Sleep peacefully, my beloved witch Beatrice. Welcome the Wekujum members of the Otoshime family. I am Beatrice, the alchemist for this family, appointed by Kenzo himself. I have served him for many years in accordance with our contract. But on this day, Kenzo-sama announced the final suspicion of the contract. Thereby, I ask you to acknowledge my resignation from the position of family alchemist from this day forth. And on one part of the contract must be explored to all present. I, Beatrice, who like Kenzo-sama, a vast quantity of gold under certain terms. One of these terms specifies that all the gold is to be returned to me on termination of this contract. Furthermore, I am to receive everything of the Oroshime family as interest. After hearing that, you might feel as though Kenzo-sama has been savagely ruthless. However, Kenzo-sama did apply a special clause in the contract that would allow you to chance to preserve your wealth and honor. If only if that special clause had been fulfilled, I would lose all my rights to the gold and to the interest for all eternity. Special clause. Riches means the right to collect the gold and become the interest upon the termination of the contract. But if someone just was able to discover the hidden gold of this contract, the interest must abandon these rights from the time. The characters are probably gonna die because they aren't searching for the hidden gold. The collection of the interest was proceed shortly, and if anyone feels the terms of this special clause, I shall return everything, including the portion that has already been collected. Furthermore, as the first step in this collection of Kenzo's debt, I have taken possession of the Oroshime family's head wing, which specifies the passage of the Oroshime family headship from one individual to another. And thereby ask yourself to confirm this seal by examining the input on the wax seal. Kenzo-sama has publicly displayed the location of the hidden gold within the L-Pad of my portion. The rules equally to all who can read the L-Pad. If tonight you discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. Tonight I shall ask you to enjoy the battle of wits with Kenzo-sama in the forest. I surely pray that this night will be both intellectual and elegant. These 3 twilights have happened. So mainly these other 4 twilights or 5 twilights haven't happened. Okay. Much ending, the servants removed the table from the kitchen. The wind, no beginning of strengthened as the young woman cut from the world. At first it seemed as though Nashu ran to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room. When it came to them, what she finally realized this was impossible. However, in order to avoid anyone in the kitchen, she told the 3 servants to go together. Because of this, the servants were the first ones given the right to leave the study room, which had been packed with 11 people. His boyfriends and immediately followed that terrible incident, preventing most of us from eating much. Everyone tore their lunches in silence. I will wash dishes Yes. So you invest the water conic, and you want something to drink? I don't need anything, Connor. I don't need anything either. You two must have been busy and early this morning. I wonder why you went out. The only noises of times while washing the dishes resounded through the kitchen. The only noise was that of Thomas washing the dishes resounded through the kitchen. Engineer Tyler sat in a chair a short distance away, their eyes lightly closed. Just as Commissar had said, those two apparently built a great deal of fatigue, and that didn't mean they could let that show in front of the relatives. Avoiding that was one of their virtues. After the silence had continued for some time, Conan opened his mouth and muttered, "Why did she have to die in such a horrible way? Forget about the manner of her death. It was nothing more than bad luck." "You're right. It was nothing more than bad luck." They both fell silent once again. Conan's expression was filled with grief. To think that Shion Chen actually is dead. Still can't believe it. Poor thing. Not being able to see her face again feels like a lie. Just wanted to see her smiling face one more time. Kamazar speak, with her back facing them. Although Kamazar had seen Shion's corpse, so she had no mention of Shion's face. When Kana heard those words, it reminded him of how half of Shion's face had been left, and his grieving expression twisted even further. Why did Beatrice Summer do that to Shion? If she wanted to sacrifice, there'd be plenty of others to choose from. Why? There's nothing more than bad luck. If we were less lucky, you and Maya might have been lying out instead of Shion. Could it be that someone else entirely? Everything is less to the fate. And you said the door to that room is stained with traces of blood or something like that. The same stains was painted over the shutter. Indeed, it was an unsettling mark. Almost as though someone with blood-stained fingers had tried to pull the doorknob and scratched through the door. That sort of unpleasant mark. So this is Beatrice would come to visit Madame's room. She did! She was gonna kill him. Okay, this is the original idea. Shion probably saw it, so Beatrice killed her. So somebody killed her. Though what they planned on doing was killing her. This girl. The time that was given by Moria, it helped her live. Tried to open the door, but couldn't. Andrew thought back to the time when you see those traces of blood on Dashi's room. With the substance sticking to the door along the door lock, months of something scratching against the door. It had definitely appeared though, that someone tried to open the door but couldn't. How could Madden avoid being chosen as a sacrifice? If only she was chosen, Shion wouldn't have to die. It's just that a sharp noise came from the hall. Both of them turned around, surprised. That's a pretty interesting chat you all were having, though. Let me join in too. Before any of the servers realized, Battler was standing in the doorway to the kitchen. Battler-sama, how rude of us. Can't you somehow who do up in supplies and hastily bowing? But I didn't care about stuff like that. I was more concerned with the continuing discussion. I told them I was going to the bathroom, so they let me go. So I would suffocate I was locked up in that room for any longer. I was about to come ask you guys for some water, but overheard something pretty interesting. You do not need to bow your heads or anything. Please let me hear the rest. That just now wasn't really. I've been listening for you for a while, don't try to hide it now. So I asked directly, who is this Beatrice? She's supposed to be the witch from the kid's story, but it doesn't look that way now. Connor could avoid his gaze, but it was so obvious that he didn't want to talk about this, which made me even want to ask more. In an effort, I smiled and grabbed the collar of his shirt. Last night, this would have been none of my business, but after this morning, everything changed. Now that Dad and the rest have been killed, this is totally my business. I have the right to listen to their suspicious door, don't I? I glared into Connor's eyes as he getting into the room, and his gaze fairly at pay. There was a big difference in how handsome Connor had to stare at his toes and it looked like it hurt a bit. Battler's hand. Please let go of him. Connor's hand wasn't hiding anything. Then you wouldn't have a problem talking about it, right? It's lonely being out the loop, you know. When I tried to further twist up the collar, the injuries only cut between us and spoke. His expression was faint traces that he made up his mind to do something. Apparently he had no intent of hiding it. Yeah, this is how new. I can tell you about. Yeah, Kanokun only knows that because, you know, I've taken him badly. Isn't he, huh? Very manly. Whatever it is you're talking about, even is more unpleasant. Well, doesn't like to have anything bad to do before tomorrow comes. A slightly spooky soil might be the best way to avoid being bored. You just saw Kaku look at each other and then nodded as they decided to talk. Please ask us anything. We will talk. Bye. Then I'll ask. Who in the world is Beatrice? Oh no, she is the witch that lives in the forest in Nakaja. I heard the story of grandmother or somebody invented to keep people out the dangerous forest. Is that wrong? No, it isn't wrong. As you say, witches is the witch who deals in the forest of Nakaja. That was someone. I don't expect you to believe all of this all the time, but Beatrice exists. She's a real person. She's the one who gave Master a vast amount of gold and worked by his side for very many years. Huh? Oh, come on. Does grandfather paying you to repeat everything he says? I laughed like it was a joke when you, Genji, and Kang-kun laughed. Not even Kama's a butch, and he was avoiding my eyes flustered as he started walking dishes. So unfortunately, I was the only one laughing, pitifully, bitterly. Let's see. That's why Genji was able to mention it. If you really do mean it, then of course I'd take it badly. You're saying the person named Beatrice actually exists? Yes. She's been working with Nancy since before the mention of this island. She has most likely been working longer with him than even I have. What do you know Kiwei-sen's deal was offered? Grandfather really did have confidence called Beatrice. Is that person on the island now? Yes. I believe she is here. That's a vague way of saying it. I guess it means you haven't seen her face today or last. That is correct. It's extremely difficult to say, but Uncle once again Charlie's gave avoiding my eyes. Come on, don't you stop there. That's like freezing an inch before the blow, right? I urged him again jokingly. However, it looked like Kanagumi was still confusing whether or not he should speak or not. Then comments about each other and whispered, "Ooh, you cannot see her face because Beatrice Summer has no form." She has no what did you just say? Beatrice Summer has no body. Thereby, unless Beatrice Summer wishes it, common people like us aren't able to see her form. I have heard that the portrait that shows what Beatrice Summer looked like back when she had human form. It seems he yearned for a figure so much that he would often stand in front of the portrait. Beatrice Summer sometimes shows herself by changing her form into glittery butterflies. On that rare occasion that you spot her solo in the mansion, there is a rule that you can't absolutely mustn't chase after them. It whispered as you will meet with disaster if you do. In fact, there was a servant who broke the wheel and quit because of great injury. Wait a second, you're kidding me, right? Are you serious about all of this? Rather, someone, future someone's already alive. Such language may be unwise. Future someone doesn't like her when she is profound. If you doubt her existence, you will certainly meet disaster. That was sad. You probably found this topic unpleasant, but you know what? Future someone does exist. She exists. Future someone hates people who doubt that. Can't you tell Battler someone? Future someone's already alive to you. Come on, quit it. I'm weak against that stuff. Enough with the cheap threats. There's no trace in the joke of the eyes of the three Netherlands. A surface in our life and try to look unconcerned. Quickly with her eyes to stop her up. The eyes were also solving up fast. I beg you, stop. I found you built yourself. Please trust me. Comes from Bertrand who's usually truthful and always teases people. Most fuck with a totally serious face. Well, even if you say she exists. Whoa! I don't see anything! Are you trying to say she's standing right next to me or something? Quit joking around! Whoa! Then just there an unnerving mouth suddenly filled the kitchen. When I turned around, Moya was standing by the entrance, but her expression and the feeling about her presence felt exactly the same as the servants. Whenever your wavelength matches or is not determined by birth, Battler, you were born with a mismatched wavelength. That is why you cannot see her. That is why you cannot meet with her. And that's why you can't talk to her. Oh, he has a mismatched wavelength. He can't see her, talk to her, do shit with her. You're the type Beatrice hates the most. Whoa! Moya laughed like it was funny, but it sounded extremely eerie. It was almost like she was laughing at me because I alone didn't understand. Do you want to know about Beatrice? Beatrice is a 1,000-year-old witch. A witch of all the demons at her command. She can harness the power of alchemy to create the phosphorus stone and a vast quantity of gold. Grandfather built up a vast wealth in the Yoshime family by making a contract with her. Yesterday I wed Beatrice someone's lighter, didn't I? That was real. Well, I guess it was pointless for me to try to force you to believe. After all, it looks like you were born without a trace of the sixth sense. Yeah, I believe there's a 19th person on this island. Sorry, I just believe there's a 19th person. That was some good mind-boggling, but there's too many dead ends. He can't spin the chessboard! What are you talking about? Witches, demons? Who told you about that? I heard it from Beatrice herself. Okay, Moya did kind of become a villain, though. She's not outright responsible for killing all those people, but she does have a more malicious glare now. Now she's just kind of insulting my man's Battler. Battler keep doing that and a pleasant laugh. However, the servants who watch over didn't even blink. She heard it from the witch during the portrait from that witch in the portrait, annoyingly the entrance hall. Moya kept laughing in a weird voice as though this is nothing more or less the truth. Moya might be able to ask, but I'll ask one more time, okay? Who gave you that letter yesterday? I got it from Beatrice. How many times must I tell you before you understand? You don't get it, don't you? You can't see it. You can't believe it, can you? You don't get it, don't you? You can't see it. You can't believe it, can you? Boom! They are cooking him. Just then, Moya's laughter suddenly stopped. Battler, you still don't understand. Beatrice somewhat exists. She exists, you say, but where? Like I said, Badges, Beatrice somewhat exists here. Bo's crashing out. That's right. Now that I think about it, I've been feeling a while now that the servant eyes haven't been pointing in the right direction. Bo! No! I think she's behind him! I think she's behind him! Oh no! He's gonna die! I figured they were staring absent-minded. But this wasn't the case. Before he would some Kamazasa and Moya. Everyone except me was looking at the spike right behind me. Moya just said, "Get wet, bozo." Everybody else like, damn it! You're gonna be the first one on the chopping block, guys. Pulling my butt tightly, I said, over my shoulder. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I've known that the whole time. However, everyone in the room except me was focusing at that point as if there was someone there. Beatrice, the almighty golden witch who was there for 1,000 years. But since you can't see her form to humans of the wrong wavelength, she can't talk to them. And you know what? That's really sad. It means she truly despises him when people like you who are born without a fragment of building the sense of magic denies that she exists. You're lucky, Batloo. Good thing I gave you that charm yesterday, right? Don't you realize what kind of curse Beatrice would have put on you if you hadn't been carrying that thing around? You really are lucky, Batloo. Oh, that's cool, big keychain. Thought it was some cheap gift or something, but you said it really had some power. If it weren't for that, you'd be riding in the storehouse of the sacrifice with your face crushed by now. You are so lucky, Batloo. See? So if it weren't for that, I would have been killed by now. Batloo, why don't you believe in Beatrice? Even though she exists. Right now, over there, look. That is disturbing. The kid keeps laughing. Hey, I bet you want to believe it by now. Believe it. And thank me for giving you that charm. If you weren't for that, you would be in the storehouse right now. But then maybe you would have saved someone in exchange, right? Biff. Right then, I burst out into laughter. Playing with witches had been pretty fun until a second ago, but unfortunately, the last one seemed to be too much for me to gloss over. And it's all useless, isn't it, Mario? Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, but it's all useless. When Mario saw me slowly laughing, she suddenly stopped. She didn't understand what I was laughing, but she realized it wouldn't be pleasant for her. I thought it might hurt you, so I didn't say it earlier, but... Well, I thought you put the charm you gave me in my pocket. But I must have dropped it somewhere. So that charm can't be the only reason why I'm alive, even though I should be cursed by the witch. I'm perfectly fine. I'm sorry, but I don't believe the things I don't see with my own eyes. The sixth senses, wavelengths, magic sensitivity. Sorry, but I don't believe in the fake shit like that. When I hear girls in the class start talking about how good and bad their ability is to sense the supernatural, it pisses me off. I don't know how much grandfather is paying you, but you talk as though... But if you're trying to talk to me into joining some cult, believe me, I won't be able to do it that easily. Man for the benefit! Man for the team! Co-sign that man. Even though I'm like, damn, yeah, we do have different beliefs. Co-sign that man. Battle of Summer. You guys are really free to believe whatever you want. However, when it comes to the things I believe, the ones who decided is always me. Sorry, but I cannot believe something as shady as Beatrice until I've seen her with my own eyes. I spoke forcefully and sharply. Then Morris started chuckling again. Well, that's just fine, isn't it? Eventually, people like you would totally mismatch wavelengths and will be able to see Beatrice. Very soon she will revive. Beatrice will revive. Once that happens, she will promise to talk to me and play with me a lot. But there's absolutely no need for you to doubt us or force you to believe! Oh my god! Villain of the year! The girl is the villain of the year! What the hell is this villain speech? Well, like, Hokuashi really didn't have any villains except for maybe Shion in that one arc. And like all the characters escalated. But this girl, what is this speech? She will appear very soon. I'm sorry, battle on that anime shit. Some people tend to head to the bathroom while others prefer to relax for a bit. It seems as though 7 people have left the puddle, just like I did, and went to the kitchen to drink some water. In the end, Aunt naturally luckily retracted order that everyone remain back in the pub, on the condition that no one headed on their own or stayed out too far. In any case, if the 11 people were shut up in the same room that earlier this morning, the air would start stagnating. Also, sometime passed, so everyone was soon to recover from the shock in that morning, and their sense of danger might have been weakening too. Although it was clearly felt that 6 people had been killed inside this mansion. No one was completely negligent. So whenever they went out into the hallway, above fresh air, they tried to act tough. They would quickly get scared of some standing there isolated. They would eventually return to the refrigerator. I guess it's like the north wind and the sun. If you force someone to stay and shut in, they will resist, but if you tell them to do whatever they want, they will come back obediently. They really do not like doing things and I like doing what they're told. The servants finished cleaning from the meal. They returned obediently to preparing on just as Aunt Nashi had told them to, and sat on the sofa near the entrance, patiently awaiting orders. Maria, almost as though she suddenly finished playing witches, had returned to the pure Moina I know, and saying, "Ooh, what in the world happened back there?" I hadn't felt even out of the presence of this person called Beatrice, who was supposedly standing behind me, invisible. However, I did feel like I glimpsed a little of that presence inside of Moria. You're right. When Moria starts talking about witches, her personality completely changes. That look, you saw it down by the beach yesterday, right? You mean the scorpion keychain? No, I mean when her feelings were hurt. I'm talking about her having a dual personality or something. Yeah, that happens sometimes too. That thing Moria did when she was talking about the magic circle does happen every now and then. It's freaky though. Apparently Jessica had spotted the key Moria a few times. It just happened to catch in the bad moment, and it was pretty freaked out seeing it for the first time. So what is that? Does Moria have a dual personality or something? Or are you trying to say that her spiritual thing is really that strong that she's been possessed by a spirit or whatever? No, I don't think that's it. Have you ever experienced it? When you were small, didn't you ever want to be someone other than yourself? When humans are born, they have no one has any individuality. However, as they reach the growth period, the sense of self starts to be born, and it's only different from the living. So it seems everyone is in the class of learning the same things at that same rate. They're being forced into the same lifestyle. Of course, they aren't going to find anything that makes them different from everyone else. Once they realize that the first thing they do is start breaking the rules, and that's what is called their rebellious stage. Since everyone else follows the rules, they want to show the individuality by breaking them. Though even those who try to act tough, mocking everyone around them, calling them childish, can be viewed as cute kids searching for themselves, if you look at it that way. I'm mentioning about all of this because I'm so smart, but I actually get second and from Jordan Aki. I myself was one of those embarrassing guys who thought acting cool. Who thought it was cool to act like a little bastard. Well, when I was that age, we try to show off the opposite sex. The invention of the glowing beard lines and the impulse to break away from the life as I can. Sort of trick trying to crack open the shell of their egg. Do you know what makes children and adults different? Age? Or do it mean time? No, it's experience. Adults can look down on children because children have very little life experience. The reason they store out everything that children say is because they think kids know nothing about the real world. Yeah, I understand that. When you were a kid, you talk like you got life and figure it all out and trying to act like an adult. No matter what kids say, adults will just look them out and say they're too naive or something, or they'll understand when they get older or something. Well, that's probably true, but as a kid, it just sounds annoying. Like you being looked down upon. I get it. It's a question of knowledge and experience. Well, I guess you're right. There was no reason to respect a person for their age if they have just wasted their lives. But during this period, they try to separate themselves from other children and try to take on personality traits different from those around them. And have knowledge and experience of what separates kids and adults. I get it. If they know something, no one else knows, it becomes a part of their identity. You know, when I was in elementary school, I would learn things no one else knew, and get things no one else had, wear things no one else wore, and become a bit of a hero for it. I bet you've done the same thing, Battler. Yeah. There was definitely an age where I wanted to excel in some skill or another. Yeah, I've done this. And see, so that's because I was trying to separate myself from being a child, or in other words, my growing period, and put a positive spin on it. The growing period forces you to separate yourself from others, thereby pushing you to gain skills and knowledge no one else has. This is also interesting from a sociological standpoint because people hate being like everyone else and try to learn skills other people don't know. This is a way society can acquire a broader range of skills to survive. The quality of good programming is truly surprising. While the unique personality traits can be negative, right? Like you say, everyone in the class was studying hard, but I was the only one slacking up trying to stand out. Okay, that last bit really is true about me. I've recently been able to think of a school teacher who slapped me after school. Well, I tried to jump over things no one else could. As fast as I could, trying to lap those guys with good grades when I did the marathon. I just felt like doing it. It was my nature. If I couldn't study well, then I could at least get back at them by exercising. I see, so I really did go through a proper growing period. I guess boys do tend to focus more on physical stuff. But you know, girls at the same age tend to focus more on mental, spiritual things. I bet there were groups of girls in your class that was really interested in fortune telling and their spiritual senses. Yeah, they were. They would come over and ask me about my sign, my blood type, and then they would laugh at thoughts, so giggle. But it really got on my nerves. No matter what class you're in, girls like fortune telling, deciding whether or not your spiritual sense is strong or weak, or what kind of sensitivity is, whether or not you can see the unseeable. That thing gotta happen to me. Because fortune telling and spiritual sense aren't things that are done in school. The girls who tend to be more introverted, the genre easily to build an identity to those who have hold a lot of interest for them. Makes sense. Much like how boys in the growing period start to act tough or rebel against the adults. When girls into the growing period, they start to get interested in that kind of thing. Well, I didn't think. So boy having so much more interest in the code isn't aware amongst the girls of age. Even when I accept that, I wonder if that explains that creepy doll personality thing. No, I don't think that explains that. Though it makes sense, okay? Because I have some actual traits of this glowing thing that they're talking about. I don't think that explains that more your personality thing. I just think she might have personality disorder. Actually, I think I could probably accept that explanation more or less. As you just said, becoming an adult means gaining more knowledge and experience. So by gaining, it's necessary for children to learn all types of things and break fears from childhood. However, there are certain convenient illusions that you can often see in the world of children, both now and in the past. You think you know what I mean. You see it all the time in manga and anime, right? It's kind of like that. Like you've got memories from a previous life that started to resurface. Like you're being possessed by a soul of some great something or whatever. Oh, and it could be that a sleeping dream gets awakened. Or maybe a sealed power or memory returns. There's all kinds, yeah, this shit. The anime shit. For some reason, stuff like that is really popular at that age. Why is that? Of all the examples you just mentioned, illusions that let children immediately add the sum of knowledge and experience. If a 9-year-old girl says she has an 1,000-year-old witch possessing her, then she gains the 1,009-year-old's identity. So basically, studying is annoying. But these delusions are confident for people who want to brag about having a skill no one else has. Amazing the people around them. So you can brag about something without having to work hard to study. I see. Isn't that the kid's greatest dream? So well, the desire to separate themselves from being kids is always projected the image of their ideal self That is not will for that desire of self to become an alternate personality. Even you, bad raccoon, has a slightly different personality at home and school, right? It'd probably be embarrassing if your friends at school saw you how you were at home. At school, you'd probably project yourself as you want to be, but at home, is where your true self. So in other words, I'm changing my personality depending on the situation. Are you trying to say that multiple personalities is actually really common? The girl who's a fan of a cult might say she's being possessed or awakened, but there's some children who change the personality so much that it's creepy. And some boys do it too, right? Guys who say they've won their top and suddenly turn into an overplayed violent character. They're just over here like, the hell? I bet they think it's pretty cool, but it's painful to watch. Whoa. Let's sum all this up. So you're saying that even a girl about Moria's age shows a creepy second personality like she did a minute ago. It isn't such a weird, unusual thing. Simply put, that's why identity is an important factor in building one's sense of self. If you make fun of it, it can actually cause children to go back into their shells. So it's important to go along with them to some degree. Although the broad-mindedness of the parent determines whether or not they'll play in full or not. Yeah, what was it, just like bitch slap Moria? I can't believe you're single. You sound like you already raised the kid through middle school. So I wonder if alt news also knew much about Moria's new personality. She knew about it. Just between us, Aunt Rosa wouldn't hated it. She'll say it's unpleasant that Moria was becoming increasingly isolated from the rest of the class. So anytime Moria started talking like an Akoto, laughing like a witch, she would slap her. Damn, when she starts being like, get this shit out of here. Man, it looks like Moria stopped talking that way in front of her. Maybe the thing back there was just a little game of a girl facing her growing period. Just a girl trying to show she was different and independent by holding her interest in witches color. And she wanted to be different from herself in young age. As she was switching between her normal personality and her personality of the ideal witch. At first I found it very disturbing, but after being lectured by George Aki, I felt like this was a path everyone walked down one time I visit. I haven't told anyone, but when I was in kindergarten, I joined up with a little gang of kids trying to form the Earth Defense Force and say, we help protect peace from Earth. No, those are Earth Defense Force weapons. My first toy in the winter, and I remember on doing that, we called the battle practice and we would chant EDF! EDF! Whoa! What are these weapons? We got our weapons to Hogawashi? We got our weapons to Earth Defense Force? And laughing just like any other girl in the age, but on the inside, another personality that was the idea which she respected and blithely accepted was sleeping. But that wasn't anything extraordinary. It was perfectly natural for a girl her age. I've calmed down a little. Shocked when my bizarre experience in the cage is now fading away. If I hadn't talked to Aki and Jessica, I still might be frightened by the idea that a visible witch is standing behind me. However, I can really accept that as an explanation for what happened back there. However, can I really accept that as an explanation for what happened back there? Oh no! Don't tell me she really was behind me! Bro, what were you doing, Beatrice? Bro, what was she doing? Stop cooking. We can't ever give him this not you TBH speech. Ever.
But oh, this is just the beginning of this first chapter. It can only get worse from here. Enter Kana, the childhood friend of Ibu. If you thought Nemu's scenes were rough to sit through, then Kanai's is horrific from context alone, with having a certain CG that is the pinnacle of nightmare. See, Nemu creates scenarios in which Risuke is able to fulfill his purchase. Meanwhile, Kanai just lets him do it. In case you haven't guessed it, this is very clearly
Sorry, the goat Shiro will not be beaten. If it had been just Warrior, I could have explained it as a fickle delusion of a glowing girl. But Genji-san, Kanaku, and Kazuba Barcode had also been there. None of them had denied what Warrior said. They suddenly accepted that Beatrice exists. I started feeling a little uneasy. Aunt Ava's position was that there was no 19th person existing. The crime was an inside job tied to the family quarrels. On the other hand, Aunt Nashi's position was that the culprit was hiding somewhere in the mansion, outside the mansion. She rejected the possibility of an inside job and supported the idea that a 19th person existed. And in the kitchen, Molly and the servants also supported the idea of a 19th person. But according to them, the 19th person isn't human. They say that an invisible witch was carrying out some mysterious plan. Is there a 19th person or not? Is the culprit human or a witch? For some reason, I couldn't just laugh out any of those possibilities. Guys, I'm getting cooked! Not even the most ridiculous story about the witch. Yeah, when he spent the Just borderline, he just kept getting Jessica. I know all about the story of the witch. Is the adults made it up to keep the kids too skilled into the forest? But the story is different in the mansion. I feel the same way you do, okay? I think it was just a stupid ghost story that our parents made up so the kids would listen to them. But I can't deny the atmosphere in the mansion made it a little too hard to say it loud. After all, grandfather has proclaimed that Beatrice exists. And because of their position, the servants can't doubt that. Even Uncle Class and Aunt Nashi don't want to get into a fight with him. So on the surface, they get along with it. It's probably safe to say that doubting the existence of Beatrice is a taboo to those who have lived and worked in this mansion. Unlike the rest of us who came here once a year. Is that right? Jessica took a deep breath of admiration. It was like Aki had guessed right. It's like, what do you say? No one really believes in it on the inside. But on the outside, they accept that she exists. See? Just like the way some people are about God. Even if they know God doesn't exist, they feel like it would be unclocked if they actually said it out loud. How do you think the servants feel about it? Are they going along because grandfather, their employee, said she exists? Well, I don't really know the details. But between the servant story and the story about Beatrice has been treated as some sort of ghost story. Remember yesterday when she almost was talking us down the beach? Story about how one night she was doing rounds in the mansion and she saw something unsettling. Did she did say something like that, didn't she? Back then I thought she was being really nice to approve Moria's move, but I felt like she was serious when she said it. That's why she definitely said it. She definitely said the same kind of thing that Genji and the West were had all you as unanimously declared back in the kitchen. Yeah, there was a 19th person. I'm sorry, there was a 19th person. It's not really a person, but there was a 19th creature on their plane of existence. Though that 19th creature has only been there since the ritual had started. That's right. She definitely said it! She definitely said that some kind of thing that Genji in the West unanimously declared in the kitchen. In addition, some servants have also been seen with will-o-wisps and glittery butterflies dancing around. Karaku was also something like that when he was patrolling one night. And recently, you often hear servants talking about strange footsteps heard inside the mansion near midnight. We whispered that the Beatrice summer and the poachers sometimes make herself invisible and walk in the mansion. It happened a while ago, but even I have heard footsteps while patrolling at night and resemble some of these stories. That's why she definitely said that. Exactly the same thing I've just been told now. Oh, well, there's nothing to be afraid of. Beatrice summons another ruler of the matrix. There's no need to be unanimously afraid. If you respect her, I heard she won't do anything bad. So, but she could be quite terrifying if you don't respect her, right? Correct. I've heard that just before I began working here, someone who spoke badly of Beatrice's stomach fell down his skills and quit after receiving a large injury to their back. Because of that, there was a rumor that the servants that Beatrice summoned anger had been brought down upon this person. If you don't respect her, you'll suffer her wrath and get her. The thing that's gonna be kind of crazy about Yumiko, though, is that I don't know. Yumiko is like Hogawashi in the fact that there was a specific curse. This is basically Beatrice Summer's, or Beatrice existing, and that's the curse in Yumiko's case. In Hogawashi's, it's Odishiwo's curse. In Yumiko's case, it's Beatrice existing. That's the curse. So the servants, Beatrice exists. It's just as credible as the story that if you pull pranks on Ito Sama, you will receive Katsunu Sama's wrath. Of course, even though everyone accepts that curses and the like don't exist in the modern era, people are still afraid and still have a lot of respect for them. You often see it in a residential area when someone is building a house and they call it Shiva for a priest ceremony to honor the god of the blood of the land. You may think that is just some big waste of time and money, but it's sad that if the workers don't do that, a big accident will occur, so they never neglect to do that. You also hear about how the Itsunari shrine is carelessly removed during the town planning. There'll be a curse by Katsune Sama. I think I might read somewhere that when the occupying forces were trying to expand the airport, they tried to remove an Ito's sand that was on the way. It's me versus the Golden Witch. It's me versus the Golden Witch. It's me versus the Golden Witch. I can't be killed. It's me. I'm beefing with the Golden Witch, guys. Imagine. Pain. True suffering. True suffering! True suffering! Yes, as you can't tell, I have ADHD. A mental disorder, guys. No, the witch has affected me. I think I might read it somewhere that the occupying forces were trying to expand an airport. They tried to remove an Anunnaki sand that was on the way, and the workers kept getting struck down by mysterious fevers. Even modern places like Tokyo wasn't where to see modern buildings get packed all around with an old Yui shrine, leaving the shrine itself untouched. This place wasn't limited to Japan. It was probably similar to how the formulas baptized babies. Development by the Christian document. If unbaptized souls even have the slightest amount of sin, they will go to hell. Putting water on the children's forehead doesn't do anything but make them cry. But by doing just that, parents can prevent their children from going to hell. They'll happily go through the ceremony. In short, even in this modern society of reason, we're still unable to throw every trace of belief and fear. You can say that we accept all sorts of supernatural things stolen or passing away. Maybe the only difference on this island is that Beatrice is the object of worship. So in other words, if anything happens, it doesn't seem like human terms, it's the work of Beatrice. Yeah, pretty much, guy. I think Shion-chan said it herself. Windows and doors and locks that are tightly shut would open the next time you went in. Lights that should have been went out and lights that should have been out were turned on. And I remember even Jessica was joking around by saying it could be the work of Beatrice when she couldn't find her bag in the morning. Your memory is pretty good. Normally, you would say some real imps took one, but on this island, it's Beatrice. We've all pretty stupid though. Yeah, the mansion has been sitting for 30 years by now, hasn't it? It's natural for things that old to get their fair share of ghosts and cult stories. Like 7 mysteries after school. But that's where I spin the chessboard around. Oh my god! Whoa! Huh? When we put on this island, there's a rule that Beatrice gets blamed for anything that couldn't have been done by humans. Things that humans can't do. How many humans are there? 18? In other words, the culprit is using the rules of this island to make it look like a witch committed the crime. I like the fact that even though he can't see that, mate, Beatrice, he's still committed, which proves that they desperately want us to think that a 19th person did it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. What do you mean you don't like it? You can't stop Battler! You can't stop the GOAT from his communication thinking. Let's assume some invisible 19th person exists and want people to know that they exist. If it were me, I would do it with even more perfect timing. What do you mean by perfect timing? Well, the crime took place somewhere between the middle of the night and dawn, right? We had some people who were talking together until the middle of the night, and some people on night shifts, and some people who have returned to their rooms and were sleeping. Everyone's alibi is really vague, so there's plenty of room to suspect that the crime was inside job. George, Aunt Ava probably told you right. There's a good chance the crime was an inside job. Yes, I guess. In other words, if this invisible 19th person really exists and would want us to know this is the first crime. This first crime was a complete failure. No, in the first place, they had chosen the wrong time of day to do it. If this invisible 19th person really wanted to show themselves, they had to make sure that the crime took place under conditions which proved that the remaining 12 people were all innocent. As long as there was a single human being with some respect, the 19th person's attempt to highlight their presence fails. That's why near midnight, when everyone's alibis are at the Vegas, the 19th person existence is also at the Vegas. And yet the culprit chooses to commit the crime at that time. By committing the crime, one of the 18 would obviously be suspected, right? However, someone handed Maria the murder called themselves a witch, even though everyone denies they did it. In other words, you're trying to say that one of the 18 is trying to make it look like a 19th person called Beatrice exists. That's a pretty crazy idea. I think Mom's theory about someone hiding outside the mansion is a bit credible. Rattler, didn't. Don't tell me you actually think someone that's known as the culprit. I do. Someone is trying to force us to accept that Beatrice exists. That's why this whole thing started as far back as the letter last night. I don't have any basis. You know, this guy is actually W Mans, okay? This guy is W Mans. Everybody, Paige and the gang don't really care about like the Oroshiro's curse. This man just confronts it full head on. It's kind of risky, but like, damn it. No, like it even leads me to be like, is my 19th birthday theory even really that stable? Because who are the ones who are trying to get us to believe that Beatrice exists? All the servants in Moria. Which all the servants are under Grandpa Kinzo's, and Grandpa Kinzo wants the witch to exist. It all points to Kinzo! 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 Kinzo was the dude! But with the chessboard turned around, this is my best guess. Seriously, that's too crazy. You sure you haven't read too much into weird detective novels? However, it's an angle we cannot ignore. Whether the 19th person or not, the culprit's definitely planning something involving the rule about this island. Just now, listening to Batlacoon's talk, I remember something a little disturbing. Something disturbing? Yes. Do you remember Beatrice's letter? It said that Beatrice was going to collect interest. And by interest, it means everything of the Otoshime family. Jessica and I thought that back to when Mori had to read out loud the previous, like, yeah, it said that. It definitely said that. But the collection of interest was going to take place shortly. But the riddle that the gold could be solved and she would lose that right. Grandfather received the gold and rebuilt the Otoshime family. In other words, according to Beatrice, everything has been created to use the gold as capital counts as a part of the interest. Which means, that's pretty scary for a joke, Aki. You don't mean everything of the Otoshime family. In other words, everything that grandfather gave birth to. In other words, everything with everyone with grandfather's blood running through their veins. You interpret that way. These murderers are just Beatrice legitimately collecting interest, as if these crimes will continue because the collection of interest is still halfway completed. George turned around, looking over the part where there were still many people who held the name of Otoshime, and because Gunhara-san and Shana-chan had been killed, we knew that not even the servants would save despite liking the Otoshime name. Oh, they're planning to kill us all! That's weird, George Musan. In that case, why only 6 people? They should have killed a lot more. At worst, it should have been possible for them to assault everyone while they're sleeping and kill them in a single night. But then they do that. Special clause. If someone manages to solve the riddle of gold, the right to the interest will be lost. And I remember how the riddle ended. We challenge all of us to solve the riddle of grandfather's gold. Jesus. It looks like we're finally understanding the culprit's message. In other words, the culprit is telling us to try to solve the riddle of that empire that grandfather has made. On top of that, they're saying that if we just sit around, they'll keep collecting the interest! I realize that this is all based on several guesses that are way out there. But not everything happens in this world fits together on a perfect line. Most events we don't understand are only individual points. By fitting them on a straight line, we begin to understand. When the points are either on the end of the line or are really close, the line itself is more logical and easier to understand. And when those points are really far away, the opposite is true. the distance between these points that make us guess is way out there. However, if the distances we spun are too narrow, that means our thinking will be too narrow. It's the difference between making the guesses and reasoning. Am I just easy made guesses and try to force this climb into a pattern I can understand? No, that's not it. When you're lost in the dark searching with all your hands, what you're doing is relying on your imagination and making a guess. Only imagination can find the points that need to be tied together. Reasoning is nothing more than an act of drawing lines between them. If you can't imagine, you can't reason. What am I doing? Might be out there, but I'm sure it isn't a mistake either. Only the power of imagination can pull clues out of the darkness. And I can use that power of reasoning to tie clues together. It's a lot like the process of searching out an enemy's weak spot and striking. It's okay if I'm way out there. Find a weak point first, and then we can talk about how to strike. But now it's time to find the points we can tie together later. For the time being, I'll put aside whether or not the 19th person existed. And now I'll feel that the goal of the culprit might have been to make us solve the riddle of the known path. Kohayashi seemed extremely interested, but Aunt Nashu said it was ridiculous and dismissed it. Of course, if you think about it that way, even the letter from yesterday makes sense. That motive seems to fit perfectly well with the facts, setting aside whoever it was that gave Mori-chan the letter. It just exists too. Although she was puffing up her cheeks in the cute way she's been doing it since yesterday, and I couldn't think of it as cute. If I poke fun of it, it might suddenly transform into a creepy laugh. There's no hidden gold, however, if the culprit is blindly sure of its existence, and they might be trying to let us solve the riddle before snatching the gold away from us. I agree that it makes sense, however, if that was the case, why did they stop by killing the most highly ranked families of the Oshimi family? I see your point. If they wanted to make themselves a riddle, killing the ones closest to Kinji sounds like a good plan to me. This goddamn murder mystery. I do actually think a 19th person exists. Unlike what Battler Samurai. Battler Samurai is very good. The only other person that actually probably could have done the killing was Kenzo. The fact that Kenzo seems the type of person that would probably mutilate his guys, but like, what about the servants? I don't think Kenzo doesn't seem like the type to actually kill his servants. Maybe they were collateral or something. That's true enough. And if we're going with that argument, it wouldn't be quicker to threaten father in the first place. The thing would be faster if you ask the person who wrote it rather than try to force us to solve it. You got a point there. Still, I think it would take more than your average threat to make father spill the beans. Anyone who knows Kenzo well would probably realize that he won't bow to ordinary threats. He's the man who bears responsibility for the Otoshime family and all his vast wealth. Well, yeah, I don't think... They all have Kenzo in a good image, and that's the thing that I already can suspect. Kenzo is a part of this murder. And that's the thing that none of the family members aren't talking about. I think a 19th person exists on the island, though. He's been exposed to many threats and attacks in the past. The family only prospers today because he was able to overcome evil. That's freaking right. I can't even imagine how glad from obeying someone because of a threat. You have to watch your language. Maybe. Let's move on. In that case, what about this idea? Oh wait. Is this one a way out there? I couldn't hesitate. Other ideas are like bows and arrows. It might be hard to hit it with, but it's a great weapon because you can catch enemies far away. We saw that most people who died in battles were killed by arrow wounds. In battle, you can't just shoot off one arrow. You shoot off a whole bunch of arrows at once, pushing forward towards the enemy troops with a wall of them. Keep shooting over and over. Create a wall that pushes you forward towards the troops. If the culprit was after the hidden gun force was the solid win, it wouldn't be very efficient for them. It would be much quicker and easier to ask the person who made it in the first place. In that case, the question is it all a message directed at grandfather? In other words, these murders are a threat made against grandfather. If he didn't tell the culprit where the gold was, his family members would have been killed one by one. Well, what if we weren't the only ones being forced to solve this riddle? What if grandfather was too? If you think about it that way, that explains grandfather's mysterious disappearance. The culprit already attacked grandfather, and then judging by the state of the 6 corpses were left in, he should have been on display left somewhere, with a horrible makeup added. But despite that, we still haven't found him. So does that make grandfather who has been kidnapped and is being held somewhere? How could? You aren't saying how could? Evil. That sounds interesting. So grandfather is being confined somewhere, and that culprit is saying we'll be killed off one by one if you don't tell him where the gold is. Pains me to imagine how you find that interesting. Aunt Nashi glared at her, but Aunt Ava smiled calmly. Since we still haven't seen him for all this time, it's almost certain that grandfather would have gotten caught up in the crime. If you think about it, you can't just ignore about Lagoon's theory, right? Replied George. In the first place, my father actually disappeared. He was the last person to see father. It was probably me. This morning, when I didn't know where my husband and the rest were, we discussed the possibility of them being in father's study, and I went to check in his room and greeted him there. Come to think of it, I've been holding the key to his door the whole entire time, haven't I? Genji, let me return this to you. Aunt Nachi pulled out the gold key and handed it to her. Genji, looking at the key, Aunt Ava giggled. Hey Genji-san, I'm sure the police will inspect father's room thoroughly. If there's anything hidden in there, it will just be exposed anyway. So maybe it'll be better if you just told us about it right here, right now. What are you talking about? It's simple. Father studies a closed room and there's no way or in or out for that key, right? I want to verify whether or not that's true. There's one entrance to father's study. What about the window? Is there any other entrances or exits? There are none. There's no way to get out except the entrance. You sure about that? Isn't some secret hidden door or something? Since father isn't here, I am the highest ranking member of the Otoshime family. I'm asking you as a representative of the Otoshime family's head. Remember that when you answer me. Are there any ways out of the room other than the main entrance? As well as far as I'm sure you would know. Aunt Nashi looked really offended about the part about being the highest ranked family member, but she kept her mouth closed at the time being and waited for Ninji's answer. I couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. Why is she going on and on about hidden doors? You too, Kanakun and Kamaza. If you know, won't you tell me? If there is one, I better if you said so. Otherwise, a certain person might be driven into a corner in a second, and we assume that there's a hidden door that my argument comes to nothing. Or Ava didn't specify which person was about to be driven into a corner. Her following the flow of the conversation, I feel like she was referring to Aunt Nashi. Mother, what are you talking about? Bro, stay quiet for a bit. What do you say, Angie? Kanakun. What conversation? Is there a hidden door or not? Angie-san, did you leave Model Father study? You must have overseen the construction. More like you say you don't know. There was nothing like that in Father's study. You're sure? What about Kanakun, the one he was allowed to enjoy the one, and that's why I'm sure there's no such hidden door in Master Study. Someone's so sad. No, I haven't heard of such a thing. What about Dr. Nanja? You have had a close relationship with Father. I have never heard of something like that. Very well then. Are you ready? One move then. It's very simple. Everyone tilted their heads, doubtfully wondering what Aunt Ava was starting to talk about proudly. Aunt Ava laughed triumphantly as she was about to reveal a secret only she knew. Nashi-sama was the last person to spot Father, right? I forgot the exact time, but I think it was a little before 9 a.m. before the morning. Nashi-sama, do you remember? I went into you just as you were coming out of Father's study, right? Yes, I remember. What does that have to do with anything? And when was the last time you visited Father's study? It was after we found the bodies of Nissan and the rest, right? Together, you and me, we went up to the study to report that. We just discovered that he was dead. By the way, Nissan, at the time you went into Father's study, did you notice anything? Okay, anything. I know what you're talking about. Come on. Picked up some trash, right? For the receipt. I did seem to want to picking up some trash. How's that relevant? I got that receipt when I bought some candy at the store before arriving at the airplane. And Ava put a small bag of candy from her hand in the bag. I have the receipt for the candy we bought back. Yeah. Mother, how does that receipt have to do with anything? Better stay quiet, listen for a bit longer. Uncle Hayashi's expression was a little strange. Apparently he understood what Ava was getting at. It was really just a one. I definitely didn't foresee anything or try to set up a trap for Nashi or anything like that. Actually, about the receipt, he said, you remember running into me after the last time you saw Father, right? At that time, I raged into the door to the station. So, what does that mean? Are you trying to say you know everything that you can that receipt? Wait a second, on Eva. Letting the receipt would be obvious. It's possible that when Raphael opened the door, he noticed it and found it amusing and stuck it back at the door. Just like the girl really argued back. She didn't really know what all this meant, but she realized that whatever was the racing suspicion about her family. But I thought the receipt so small that no one could notice it, but even if you assume that he saw it fall, ignore it, knowing how high up the roof. It's not right. I checked it a while. Now she understands it's taking the key out. The receipt was just 1 million euros from the eye for it. I bet you. I can't understand why you pulled such a childish bet. I bet you're the one who did that prank on my wound too. Do it to you? It was unpleasant to talk about, so I never mentioned it. But when I woke up this morning, there sounded something outside the door. Probably was the same red paint that was scribbled on across the shutter. There was some unpleasant knocks as the door had been tearing at, and someone had been tearing at the door. So what is this? Why did you keep quiet about this for me? My apologies. There's so many horrible things that occurred since then. I completely forgot about this until this moment. Did you know anything about that? I'm not talking about your door, but about the doors the Father was in light. See the time when you confirmed he was in the room and the time you confirmed him that he wasn't, that door wasn't open even once. How would father get out if he didn't use a door? No, that's what I want to know. And he said, other than moving here, let's check to see whether or not father was going to. That's not last time I came inside. Was the little thing chest closed with me till just before dinner. Who saw him after that? I did. I gave him his name last night. Yes, Trina and I were with him. The other time, father was still definitely in his room. However, not showing himself. And when you found out that he wasn't there, it looks like on the waves in the alley to study the flow of light. Even so, you said you need him with empty. Give him this moment. I understand why everyone has become so green. It's only easy to me. All their mother. You were saying that Nashi was about to be manifest just when you know like tells you about it like that. It's guiltless. Why would she lie? I keep telling you to watch your language. All I want the whole room to remain at war. Even unnatural confronting each other across the college table with George confronting Jessica. What the heck was going on? Many people spotted him last night, right? Because in the morning, no one here from the team that was last year. And it was a strange fact. Then that strange fact knew from my receipt. How can we connect these points together? But if it was everyone to imagine it, sure the receipt became an important part, but I didn't know which other points to tie it to or how. So every time Sonny was unable to call these months, we found that Aunt Marcy lied and acted. I was doing I was running this morning. It's like when it goes up and wins, I wasn't able to get it at all. Why would mom have to lie? She has no reason to, right? That's what I want to know. But just a chance. You can't be sure. There isn't no reason for this. You've seen it in mystery novels here and there. The trigger people taking death just even out by themselves. What are you talking about? I've never heard that. Still haven't found his father yet in his grave. Much as it seems that he has already been killed. If that is true, there's no doubt that we will find his corpse. If at this point, the time of death could be cleverly faked, and now she needs to be able to prove an alibi. Can you understand, everyone? This morning when Aunt Nashi comes in, the grandfather was there, she lied. And he was already dead at that time. And then she moved the body to some other location and tampered with it. And routinely would think he was killed just a second ago. Not make it possible to create an alibi. Or we just want to stay with the rest of us. She could say I heard someone screaming. And that she would then begin to place to find the body along with everyone else. Is that what I'm able to say? Ridiculous. After all the detective novels are merely books with the purpose of entertainment, you cannot think of such an indiscreet idea because you read it all the time. That's right. Even if she did try to fake the time of death, it would have been blown away by an instant once the police had their autopsy. No matter what in the past, do you think the trick would have worked in modern Japan? It doesn't make sense. Do you think so? This morning when Dr. Naja looked at the corpse, he was only able to get a vague estimate of time of death, right? Upside people's words were easily affected by the environment and the individual differences. It's very rare to the estimate with an uncertainty of several hours. And unfortunately, the police scientific investigation will have to wait until tomorrow. It wouldn't be easy to measure the correct time of death so accurately even in modern Japan. It's not rocket science. Examining the corpse is extremely difficult. we're both that we're probably going through experiencing. I felt that there's a very high chance of a mistaken diagnosis. So I imagine it's very possible that this room was just a few hours to occur. Although for an alibi, that is more than enough. It's an old trick. It's a trick that works all the time. Now she needs to. It's not like we want to suspect you, okay? We just want to prove you innocent so we don't have to suspect you. What is this innocence you want me to prove? Okay, Nashi, why are you holding the shotgun? I did not suspect you, but now we're gonna suspect you just for holding that shotgun. The shotgun was a little weird. But the corpses didn't look like they got shot with a shotgun. This morning I definitely met my father, and he told me to keep the one alien angel engraved in my heart. Are you denying that he said that too? I will certainly not permit that. I won't let you deny what father said in those words. And maybe father's body won't appear anywhere. Only a person has been missing for several years before they're officially dead. Wouldn't that be a clever way to extend father's nearly finished life another 7 years and keep all of his wealth to himself? I can't let you get away with saying what. I can't let you get away with saying that. Oh my God, she has the shotgun. I can't let you get away with saying anymore. I am the Onishima Nazi. Although I do not have the right to wear the one-wing eagle on my body, you certainly engraved in my heart. What do you think I'm saying? As the wife of class, the successor of the head, who had acted in such his place. What is it? Are you gonna shoot me with that gun? Go ahead. If you only just shot, you just desperate because you can't think of a way outright. Do it and try to obscure the truth of violence. It wasn't like Arnisha was actively holding the gun ready to threatening anyone, but she was being egged on by Aunt Ava, so she did hold it at the ready. Unsurprisingly, once things got upset, just to make still try to stop her. That improved conversation. Mom, you aren't lying, so there's no reason for you to listen to this. I'm not watching anything. All you gotta do is swear that father definitely wasn't in that room. Why are you getting so worked up? It was correct. Now Shinichi isn't lying. Shouldn't that be the end of it? I want you to explain. How did father manage to disappear from the room? Was the window closed tight from inside? The same was true for the door, right? And this morning, if you really remember father, they must explain how father's disappearance from this unopenable door closed the room scenario. If you don't, then it means you're lying, after all, right? How far do you plan to mock me? If you want to argue back, go ahead! That's why try to explain right here, right now. Whoa! She got the gun! Why? Bro, I'm more concerned about the fact that this girl has the gun. Shit, this is the only fucking show, the only fucking visual novel that makes a girl having the gun kind of traumatic. Whoa, Nashi, are you the murderer? Are you the murderer? Are you the murderer? Nashi, tell me! If you do it, I'll apologize for suspecting you. How did father manage to get out of the closed room? Really? Then let me explain it! Let's take the best parts from my perspective and yours to come up with a more friendly explanation. I believe what you said about father still being in his room this morning. However, the next time the door was open, father wasn't there. You don't have any objections so far, right? I have no desire to hear any more of you. What you have to say! Shut your frivolous mouth! My reasoning goes like this, okay? I can confirm on both occasions you were the only one who gone through that drive, and the receipt proved it. So on the answers to the puzzle of how father left this room, through the window. He is sent out the window. You threw father out the door, so he went into the courtyard. You! Adam, please do it. Hey, let's Sam, please stop it. After that, when you left and said you were going to check the doors and the windows, you took father's clothes, which I father on the courtyard, and hid it. That's probably when you took some measures and faked the time of death, right? Ava is the biggest bully to this girl for no reason. Alright? I guess for a reason. Because the case regarding causing me some relax. I believe we can do better with the system in all these cases. It's not in the open. There's nothing else I can do. Please, Nashini-san. Please explain how you can be innocent. Otherwise, you can't help but suspect you. Why me? Why must I? Why does she make now she be assaulted like this? Why? No! 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 No!